I go to the riverside for inspiration.
Yeah, for inspiration, I usually try to find some water or a nice walk in the park.
At night.
In the morning. My name is Eric Hansen. I'm a musician, composer, sound designer, and I produce music and work together with Amiangelika under the pseudonym 1100.
Amiangelika, I work under the pseudonym Iamangelika, and I'm a media artist. I guess we try to connect audio and visual in real time.
What we're trying to do is create an experience for whoever's watching and listening that feels like nothing is coming from one specific point, but it's all coming from the same living sort of thing. And everything we do, is made with the live performance in mind. And for that reason, it's most important to us that it comes across as a unified textural sensory experience and not just something you're watching or something you're listening to.
We met at one of your parties. Yeah, I was VJing and you were DJing.
Yeah.
And I remember that I wasn't really in a good mood. I didn't really know anyone and I was alone and I was like, okay, whatever, I'm just gonna be doing my thing. And then we had coffees in the next few days or something.
Even the next day. Audiovisual performance or anything was not anything that I knew anything about, but it's something that I was really interested in, and I was trying to find out how to basically sync visuals and music. And so I started asking a bunch of annoying questions at this party, and then we had coffee the next day, and we basically started working on what is now Black Sun.
Black Sun originally was designed to be an audiovisual performance, and then part of it became an installation.
Yeah.
Just a recording of a show, basically, on 5 screens.
Yeah.
And then it became an album.
Originally, it was only meant to be a performance, and so when that idea came up, I think I was a little resistant to release it as an album, just because it seemed like it was separating the music from what this thing had already become. But then once we started talking about how to present it and pairing it with specific visuals for each track, and then once the trajectory and the storyline was solid and in place, then it started to make sense as an album.
Because it's just one piece of music. The album is 30 minutes and it's just a continuous stream of music.
Yeah.
There are no separate tracks. We were trying to understand how to split it to make it as an album. And if you listen to the whole album just song by song, it's basically just one.
Yeah, the first year really it was a lot of very late nights just combing the internet, trying to figure out how people were doing things, and we knew it was possible, and we knew that what we wanted to do could be done, using stuff that was really just sitting in front of us on our computer. But this sort of self-teaching part of it was frustrating at times.
I work in a touch designer software, which is a visual programming software where you can program generative visuals, so all in real time, using Node system. So it's basically code, but visual. Yeah, and so all the visuals are being played live and they're being generated live, and that's why it's very kind of natural for it to be reacting to audio and be audio reactive.
I work in Pro Tools mostly, actually. I work mostly in hardware synths, so I record everything in Pro Tools, usually in big long chunks for an hour or 2 hours or whatever. And that's sort of early in the process, I guess. And then once we start going through all that and picking out what makes sense or what's standing out to us, we sort of, I guess, edit and then start kind of piecing things together. There were a few artists in particular who we both really admired, and were sort of an example of, and sort of proof that people were doing what we wanted to do. And then we saw an installation early on when we first started working together. I think it really ignited a lot of excitement and possibility. And then as we started to work ourselves and got past all that really annoying technical stuff and actually got to start experimenting, then it became easier to think about how whatever we were going to do might be different, it might feel different, or how we're going to approach it differently.
I remember the first visual experiments and also audio. They were in color and there was a lot of beats.
Yeah.
And then once I was like, okay, we need to make something at some point, not just like experiment.
Yeah.
It kind of made sense to make everything black and white somehow. It was just like, okay, this feels more aligned.
The biggest difference between working with other musicians and working with Amiangelika, or like, I guess any artist from another medium, I suppose, is it's not about like just music anymore. It's not about trying to make a track or trying to write something that specifically musically alone conveys whatever you're trying to say. You know, it's like a completely different tool set. You know, whatever you're trying to say or whatever you're trying to get across becomes a completely different approach because music is only 50% of it. During the writing process, when you're writing in this context for an audiovisual show where the music is only a part of it, it takes, in a way, it takes a lot of pressure off, because whatever you're trying to get across is not only going to rely on whatever you're making musically, and you know that it's just meant to fit together, and so for that reason you make different decisions and you have different sort of goals in mind, and so it's a completely different experience.
You don't want people to leave the show being like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
You still want them to be feeling a bit better than they were before they entered it. So I think we do want them to feel like they've had a very nice and cold shower.
Yeah. I think it's something that is, at least what we would hope people experience, almost as if you're watching it alone. And so if you're approaching it like that, it makes it easier to reflect on whatever your own emotions might be, or however you might connect personally to the piece. And rather than experiencing it, you know, as a group, or like feeling the whole room or the audience, it's just sort of better, I think, in a state of self-reflection. It does get really dark and eerie and uncomfortable, but it finishes and gives, I think, like a real strong closure. And I think as close as we come to like an uplifting sense of relief and revival almost.